There we go. Okay, everybody, thank you for taking the time to be on this call. We do appreciate it. And this call is the training for Morton Manufacturing. Ray, I was going to have you talk real quick. Can you just share a little background about the group first?
Morton Manufacturing, all located right there in Lancaster. They're a manufacturing organization, so there is going to be some Spanish speakers. But you want me to tell you about the plan design or just about the company?
Just about the company right now.
Yeah, they're aerospace fasteners. So that's their business out there, and good group of people.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good to know. That's always good to have the background information. Luckily, they're one location. This is going to be an enrollment that's on Celerix for the 3 MassMutual plans that we're going to be assisting with the enrollment on, and then their main core plans will be on ADP, which they will self-enroll for the most part. We won't be doing much with the core other than they want us to be familiar with their plans so that if anybody asks any questions, we can respond to that. So that's what the main reason for this call. So before we do the MassMutual, I was thinking that we could just go over real quick the 2 Kaiser plans and the Guardian real quick. Let's do I'll pull up real quick the plan summary that you had for the traditional plan first. Ray, if you can just speak to this one real quick.
Well, how familiar are your enrollers with Kaiser? This is a pretty basic Kaiser plan. So we enroll a lot of Kaiser. So. Okay, so you know everything about Kaiser, how they work. This is obviously the plan summary. This plan will now be their buy-up plan. So the $30 copay is going to be a plan that is available to all employees, but they're going to have to pay the additional cost of it above, the deductible plan that we'll be looking at next. So we probably won't get a whole lot of participation in this since the deductible plan is going to come with the accident plan tied in. So, we have our typical stuff. We see a $30 copay, no charge in the inpatient hospital, $1,500 out-of-pocket max. Nothing unusual about this as far as a Kaiser plan goes. So, Andrea, anything additional you want to know about this, or
is this a new plan then? Or
no, this
new this year. So this is the plan that they've had.
Correct.
In the past. Okay.
Correct.
So the new plan is then the deductible one, their new plan?
This is the new plan right here. So this might be a little surprise to everybody. They'll hear about it in the group meetings, but obviously this is going to be a big jump from the previous plan where they didn't have a deductible to this $1,500 deductible for a single or $3,000 for a family. So, excuse me. The thing about this is going to be the plan that Morton pays their contribution on. I think it's 75%. Morton pays 75%. The employee pays 25%. I could be wrong. That could be 80-20, but Mary Lou knows that. So they're going to pay 75% for this, but they're going to tie in the accident plan with it. So anybody who elects this plan is going to get the accident plan tied in with it. It's going to be bundled.
Got it.
The
so
accident
that's a big incentive for them.
Accident, critical illness, whole life will be available to everybody else, but the only people that get accident paid for them is the people who elect this deductible HMO.
Okay, that's good to know. And then this is, as you can see, is basically a standard deductible plan because it has the plan deductibles and it has the higher out-of-pocket copays as well.
Right. And a lot of this,
Yeah.
the professional services and all that, the good thing about it is the deductible doesn't apply to those. So mostly you're going to get hit with inpatient, outpatient hospital charges if, for the deductible. Most everything, you don't have the deductible.
Oh, good to know. Okay, thank you for explaining about those plans. And then we'll just real quick, are the Guardian plans plans that are also continuing, so they're familiar with the Guardian plans?
Yeah, no changes at all to Guardian. So everything they have, they're pretty accustomed to it. I doubt we'll see any changes unless you have some new hire in there. So they have the dental. They have the option between the dental PPO and the dental HMO. So you have you can see it right there. So and I'm sure you're all familiar with the difference between the HMOs and the PPOs, but traditional Guardian HMO available, and then if they want to buy up to the PPO, that's available to them as well.
And then the difference here between looks like there's 3 levels of PPO that they can get.
Correct. In the PPO, they have 3 tiers. That is their, premium providers, the Alliance, and then they're just traditional preferred providers in the PPO, and then tier 3 is out of network.
And then the difference in that is, I guess, probably since this one has the most that they pay towards the plans, is probably the smallest network.
Yes, it's going to be the smallest network, biggest discounts. You can see the preferred and the out-of-network tiers pretty much have the same benefits, but there's balanced billing involved in tier 3.
Okay, so those are the 2 Guardian dental plans. The employees should be familiar with them, so it shouldn't be an issue. And then if they do have specific questions, hey, you got the schedule in here where it tells exactly what it will cost them for.
Right.
On the HMO plan, and it has ortho. Did the PPO have ortho as well? It did, didn't it?
You'd have to go back. I don't remember if they have ortho on it or not.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah.
They'll show it
no
in
ortho. Yeah. No ortho on the PPO. So most employees tend to go towards the HMO because it's less expensive. But if you have kids who have crooked teeth, better go for the HMO.
Yep.
All right. Boy, I forgot. That's a long. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so that talks about the networks there. If you needed to know about the networks. Now, this was in here. Do they do anything with the college tuition, or is that just?
College tuition is just a kind of a benefit they get on the PPO. So if they go through that and meet certain criteria, they will get a reward program that they'll get a statement every year that shows them how much was built up for college tuition and which colleges are available.
With the PPO only?
Yes.
All right, then they have, it looks like a standard vision plan through Guardian?
Correct. It's Guardian plan using the VSP at network.
Okay, and then I forget, what was it? Okay, so it's a 12-12-24 plan.
Correct.
So 2 years for the frames, and you can see what they are. Well, it's sort of nice that for the basic lenses, they just have the $25 material fee, and then it's covered if they're in network.
Right. And are your enrollers going to have this enrollment kit with them printed out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest.
I don't know.
Ditch all the necessary pages and keep the summaries.
Okay. That's probably what they'll do, is just print out the relevant pages.
Right.
Okay. And then I would assume all current employees are already enrolled on this life benefit?
Basic life is covered, paid for by the company, and then they can choose to buy the voluntary term life.
And do you have a lot of participation right now on the voluntary term life?
You know, Mary Lou would have to answer that question. I do not know.
You don't know? Okay. And I was looking in here on the voluntary life, and I couldn't see anywhere, but maybe I missed it, the spouse amount, because I didn't see it written anywhere. The spouse amount, is it up to 50% of the employee amount on the voluntary life?
Yes, that would be the case.
Okay, so you can see the employees get a $50,000 basic term life that's paid for by the employer, and then they can buy up to $500,000. And is it capped by salary amount, like by salary or anything like that?
It is. It should say right above. If you scroll back a little bit.
Oh, up on the top part here?
Right here. You know, did they have something before it on basic life, even further back?
No, because that's the end of the dental, or the vision, I mean.
All right, let's go down. I'd have to double check some and see if they have it capped by salary. I'm pretty sure they do. But I'll look while we go into some of the other stuff and let you know before the end of this call.
Okay, and then the guaranteed issue I see is $150,000 for anybody that's a new hire, and $25,000 for the spouse. Is there an amount that the employees who are existing employees that have voluntary life that they can get without filling out an EOI?
No, if they have not, if they've a late entrant and where they want to increase their amount later, they have to answer some basic questions. So there's no guaranteed issue after the initial offer.
Okay, so this plan doesn't have where they can do a step, get another $10,000 without EOI. So anybody else so if they want to get more, or if they are an existing employee who didn't participate, they have to fill out the EOI form.
Correct.
Okay, that makes it easy. And then you have the rate grids here. They have a lot of rate grids. And I think I saw that the spouse premium is based on the employee age, not the spouse age. So
correct.
Just remember that. And then I saw these services, the will prep services. Was there anything else?
I don't know. Have travel. Sometimes Guardian puts a travel benefit on there as well.
But that's just for the employees who participate in voluntary life, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Rigo, any questions about any of the Guardian or Kaiser?
No, I'm pretty familiar with it.
Very familiar. Okay. And it looks like they have an EAP program as well for those that are participating in the voluntary life. Okay. So that's just a quick review then of the basic core. They'll be enrolling that on ADP. But you may get a few questions, so that's why just have the materials and be ready. But Mary Lou said that she would be around, especially during the days where they're doing the one-on-ones, to assist with any questions if needed.
And I don't know if it'll come up because, again, it's company paid plan. They also have long-term disability with Guardian as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that on there. So they do have a long-term disability with Guardian. So you said that's an employer-paid plan?
Paid long disability. So, but I don't think that'll come up at all.
Do all employees have it, or just the top employees?
No, I'm pretty sure it goes to everybody.
It goes to everybody. Okay. All righty. So that's available as well. Just keep that in mind. It wasn't in the kit, but because it's
not that it's available.
It is available.
Okay.
It's automatically given to the eligible employees, like a basic life.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to say the first password before we move to the Mass Mutual. The first password is Lancaster. These are all the different brochures that Lindsay sent us yesterday. So did you want the brochures, or should I pull up the proposal? What did you want to use to talk about the Mass Mutual?
Lindsay, that's yours.
I would actually say the proposal, just because it lays out the plan designs.
Okay.
And we can kind of talk through each product as we go.
Okay. So here we go.
Okay. So with Mass Mutual offering, we have the whole life, critical illness, and accident insurance plans. The whole life proposal, so this is employee paid coverage only. It is offered to all benefit eligible employees. Issue ages are 18 to 75. Okay. The face amount, so this is express issue coverage. And what that means is that the employee will answer a couple questions on the application. The first one being a tobacco question. This is not a knockout question. It's simply just going to determine the employee's rate. We do have tobacco, non-tobacco rates. And then the second question we would ask is the employee actively at work? As long as they can answer yes to that question, they'll move on to the third question, which is really the express issue question. And it's a 2-year medical knockout question. It's going to ask the employee, in the past 2 years, have they been treated or diagnosed with any of the following conditions? It's going to list out 10 dread diseases. So all the big ones: stroke, heart attack, cancer, COPD, HIV, AIDS. And of course, I mean, they're enrolling Solaric, so they're going to view those questions on the site. As long as they can answer no to that question, they can qualify up to $250,000 of life insurance coverage. The minimum being $10,000, and then they can increase each year in $5,000 increments. The nice thing with express issue coverage, and something you may want to note, is there is no lifetime max on our express issue coverage. So somebody could enroll in up to $250,000 per year. Okay, so they can continue to stack coverage every year as long as they can answer those questions on the application. Okay.
So they could get $250,000 each year if they wanted, if they could afford it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. All right. There are no riders selected within this offer. So we do have waiver and accidental death benefit. Those were not included. So, you know, they will not, show that on the enrollment site, of course. We did include dependent certificates. So as long as the employee has at least $25,000 on themselves, they can engage a dependent in coverage. These are individually issued certificates. So it's a flat $25,000, no less, no more. The spouse would be express issue coverage, so they'd answer that medical question, and we could issue them $25,000 that they would own. The child and grandchild, issue ages 14 days to 26 years, is guaranteed issue.
Now, would each child have their own amount, or are all children covered under the same?
They would have to enroll each child in their own certificate.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the plan design for the whole life. You know what? Why don't we talk a little bit just around the advantages of the whole life before we jump into the critical illness?
Sure.
I'll just highlight a couple items. So you can just scroll back up. I can walk through them.
Okay.
So with the whole life insurance, I understand they offer a term. The biggest difference there is our whole life insurance is eligible for a dividend. Okay, Mass Mutual, that's one of our biggest differentiators out there with our whole life. Because we are a mutual company, the employees are eligible for a dividend. We've consistently been paying out since like the Civil War. So although they are not guaranteed, it's a good shot. We're going to continue paying them every single year. And I think that's just the value add with doing business with such a financially strong company. We pay out the highest dividend. So consistently, on average, we're paying about 7% dividend per year. Right now, we are currently at 6.4%. So with the dividend, it's really going to help the cash value accumulation within the policies. And that's critical, right? I mean, these employees, they can, use this cash value however they need. They can take loans against it. And, we're still going to provide our guarantees on a whole life policy. So we're going to provide the guaranteed death benefit, of course. We have guaranteed level premiums. So if you're enrolling a 30-year-old today, they're going to pay the rate of a 30-year-old for the life of the policy. Our rates are determined by the employee's age and the amount of benefit they're enrolling in. And we have unisex rates. So you will find males benefiting more through a group product than going through individual underwriting. Okay. And then lastly, I think the biggest difference as well against a term policy is that these policies are portable. So while the employee is working at Morton Manufacturing, they're paying their premiums through payroll deduction. If they left Morton, they can take these policies with them at the same rate, okay? Whereas with the term, if they were to leave, the rates would either skyrocket or, they wouldn't take it with them. So I think that's definitely something to note as well.
Hey, Liz, this is Rigo. Quick question: Is the whole life policy, is it paid up to a certain age?
No. So the issue ages are 18 to 75. As long as you're enrolling within those years, the policies go for as long as they're permanent. So they're going to be there for their entire life.
Okay, so they'll just pay on it if they live to 100 years old, basically.
Right. The premiums are paid
Gotcha.
until age 95 as well. So something
Gotcha.
to keep in mind there.
Okay.
Okay. And once the employee, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what's the average number of years before they're able to access any of their cash value?
You're really, I'd have to see the statements. It's going to take a couple of years, obviously, to build up some cash value as the employees continue to pay their premiums. They're not eligible for the dividend until the second certificate year. So I would say, give it a couple years. We send statements out every year. They're going to be able to view their cash value. They can access it once, they have cash value in there, but
right.
Yeah, you're not going to really show the accumulation until after a couple of years. Once the employee ports their policy, just so you guys know, that they would take it with them. We would actually direct bill them at their home to continue payments. Obviously, while they're at their workplaces through payroll deduction, we would direct bill them at their home once they leave.
And what happens this is a group whole life policy? Yeah. What happens if Morton Manufacturing down the road decides to cancel everything, and they've ported their policy? Will the policy continue if the group canceled the whole group certificate, or since they already
absolutely.
ported?
Yeah, they would still own their policies. Yes. Yep, they would just obviously port them. We would bill them at their home if they're no longer having a payroll slot at Morton Manufacturing.
Okay.
Yep, that's a nice thing with the employees owning their own policies. So the second product here is the critical illness. So, you know, as Ray mentioned, the critical illness and accident, they're really nice products to offer when you do have these deductible health plans. They do help offset any out-of-pocket expenses that your health plan may not cover. So with the critical illness, the issue ages are 18 to 75. We are offering to family as well. So we're offering, you know, family coverage. Spouses 18 to 60 years, and children are from birth up to 26 years of age. With our critical illness, it's guaranteed issue coverage. So the employees can get up to $15,000 of critical illness insurance coverage. You're going to see there the spouse can also get up to the $15,000, which would match the employee's amount. And the dependent children can either get the greater of $2,500 or 25% of the employee's basic benefit amount. So you're going to show that $3,750. All right.
Okay.
The nice thing with our critical illness, and this is a differentiator for our plan than others in the market, is we will pay up to 5 times the basic benefit amount. So, for example, if the employee were to have a heart attack, and then 6 months pass, and they're diagnosed with cancer, we would pay out $15,000 per critical illness. So we'd pay that out twice there. We'd go up to 5 times. We need 6 months in between the first occurrence so we need 6 months to pass for a different critical illness and 12 months to pass to pay out for the same critical illness. So if you have a heart attack and then you have another heart attack, we need 12 months to pass before we pay out for that same critical illness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the maximum amount that, like the guaranteed issue is $15,000 for that the employees can get? What's the maximum amount they could get if they wanted to?
It would be that $15,000. That's the max.
That's the max. So
yes.
That's the choice they have is just the $15,000.
Up to $15,000. So if they want a lesser amount, they could choose a lesser amount in $5,000 increments.
Okay, because here, right there, it says spouse coverage may be up to 100% of the employee coverage, not to exceed $30,000.
Yeah, that would be. I don't like how they state that there, and I want to double check with underwriting on why it's there. Our max, depending on the group, and if there was some employer paid, is $30,000 on our critical illness. The max here is $15,000. So that's actually a takeaway for me as well. I don't like how they show that there. Because it can be definitely be confusing. So let me take that offline.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Target participation for the critical illness is 20%. We do have a reinsurer on this product, so it is critical that we hit participation on that product. And I actually feel very confident with a TPE enrolling this group, and it sounds like you guys have a great strategy in place, so I don't think you'll have a problem hitting that.
One thing you might want to remember, Andrea, on the accident plan, we're not going to have any problem participation on that because we're going to get plenty of people jumping into the deductible HMO, and they're going to get that as part of the package. That covers them for hospitalization for accidents, and it's a younger group, so they figured the accident plan would be a little bit more beneficial. So a good way to sell this is if somebody wanted to cover themselves for hospitalization on illnesses, they're going to need this.
Exactly.
That's true. And I thought I saw a page, but maybe it's further in this proposal that lists all the different critical illnesses that this will cover.
Yep, further down it'll list out the illnesses.
Okay, so if they don't make the 20%, does that mean that most of them, that they would end up not getting the policy?
Or
let me work on that. I think we got a little wiggle room. Lindsay's a little bit tough, but I think we can deal with somebody a little softer.
Ray!
Yeah.
No, I do agree. You know, we have a great enrollment strategy in place, and I would say if you do everything that you're saying you're doing, we should have some wiggle room with underwriting on that.
Oh, that's great. I did have to, Ray, you may want to reinforce with Mary Lou the importance that all the employees need to sit with the benefit counselor, because she had briefly talked about sending just the interested employees after the group meetings, and I sort of tried to nip that in the bud, say, no, we really need to sit with everybody so that we can, you know, get to your participation levels, be sure everybody waives, you know, can't come back and say, I was never offered that plan.
I was very clear to her, and on our call, she says that the meetings would be mandatory, so I'll make sure I talk to her again and make sure that does not change.
Yeah, because I had to quickly stop. Nope, we're supposed to sit with everybody. They all need to come through and look at all the Mass Mutual plans. All right, so then we have the accident plan here.
Yes, so I will review the plan design on the accident. So the nice thing again is it's employer paid coverage. So for those that do elect into the HMO plan, the premiums will be covered by the employer. Issue ages on the accident plan are 18 to 75. We are offering to family as well. So spouse is 18 to 60, and then dependent birth to 26 years. Again, it's another guaranteed issue product. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the employer is going to pay for the plan for the employee, for those who get the DHMO, the deductible Kaiser plan, but there's 3 levels, low, medium, high. Are they just paying for the low plan, or which model are they paying for?
So if I read the sold case paperwork correctly, I believe they elected all 3 plans, and they will let the employee choose which plan is most fitting.
The plan the company is paying for is the middle plan. But if the reason why they allow all 3 plans is because for those who don't elect the deductible HMO, they can pick the low, medium, or high. But the medium plan is the one being paid for by the company.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, Ray, I'm just going to make a note of that because I want to make sure that this offer letter reflects just the medium plan on the employer paid coverage.
Okay.
Medium plan. Okay. Ray, one other item I want to confirm with you is the accident disability benefit.
She checked that, but she didn't check any of the options under it. That is not available.
Okay, so they do not want to include that.
Correct.
All right. Do not. All right, I'll let Christy know.
That form was about the 4th revised form, so I wasn't sending it back to her again to pull that off.
Yeah, I understand.
Sometimes it's pulling teeth to get those signatures.
Yeah.
I know.
Quick question on the accident plan. Is that on and off the job coverage?
It's 24-hour coverage. Yes, on and off the job. Great question.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
That's what 24-hour coverage means. Okay, got it. All righty, and then...
All right, and then, so for those that do not elect the HMO deductible plan, will be employee paid coverage. That's what this plan design would be showing. Everything's basically exactly the same, but they would have the opportunity to elect the low, medium, and or high coverage model.
So the employer paid, if they get that deductible, is just the medium plan. Let's see.
And if somebody's on the deductible HMO and they want the high plan, it would just be a buy-up, so they would just pay the difference.
Okay, good to know.
Ray, can you say that one more time?
If somebody was on the deductible HMO and the employer is going to pay for the medium plan, if they said, I want the high plan, then they would just pay the additional premium for that high plan, and they would have the high plan instead of the medium plan.
I can check on that. I don't know if that is, doable or not, just because they'd fall into one plan design under the employer paid. So let me check on that, Ray.
So they can't split that premium and use a high plan as a buy-up?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, check on that for me. That would be really unusual if they could not do that. But
yeah, so medium.
That's something we'd need to know.
Yeah, definitely. Can employee pay the difference? Yeah, I will definitely check on that. Okay. All right, so here are the list of covered critical illnesses. You're going to find that we would pay 100% on this list of diseases right here. So it's all the big ones, cancer, heart attack, stroke. And then you're going to find towards the bottom, there are 3 listed there where we'd pay 25% benefit.
Okay, so that's good to know of all those. And then, then it has the rates in case you.
Yep. And they are tobacco, non-tobacco.
But that'll be in the Solaric. So, and then here's an example of the accident. I think there's a page that shows the difference. Here we go. Here's the low, medium, high, where you can see the different amounts that would be paid for various accidents.
Yep, you're exactly right. So right here, you're going to show the different benefit amounts that we would pay depending on which plan the employee were to elect. So it's a big, long list.
Yep.
So again, this is a really nice product, that will help kind of offset those health costs that the health plan may not cover. So, x-rays, visits to the hospital, ambulance ride, you name it, we're going to pay out a benefit.
But only for accidents. So they need the critical illness for the major illnesses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. To help offset their deductible and copay. And usually critical illness is pretty reasonable cost. So there's a lot of pages which my benefit counselor should be familiar with because it's similar to what we have on our accident plan.
Actually,
and you can see the premiums.
Yep. And then actually, if you scroll up one more page,
I'll go back.
Walk you through. Yep, just up one page. You'll show at the bottom there some additional care benefits. I think this is something important to note. So built-in benefits are the child organized sporting activity benefit. So this is a really nice feature if, the employees have kids. If they're, involved in an organized sporting activity and say their child, is in a soccer game and hurts their arm, we're going to pay out the, normal accident amount for whatever happens. So if it's a broken arm, we would pay out that full benefit to them, but we would also pay an additional 25%. So it's just an extra benefit. We know how children can get hurt. And then the waiver of premium benefit as well. Is a nice feature.
Nice. Rico, any questions about any of these three Mass Mutual plans? That would be offered. Okay, and then all these questions would be
I was
in.
muted.
You were muted. Did you have some questions?
No.
No. Okay. And then all these questions and everything, they're in that the employees have to answer would be in the Celeric system, correct? They don't have to fill out any paper enrollment forms.
That's right. Yeah. And actually, the nice thing is following this call, you guys are going to be getting a Celeric demo. So you'll be able to view the questions, and Ty does a nice job of just walking through each screen, and you'll kind of see the user experience.
All right, and we see all the rates here. Anything else that Ray, you or Lindsay can think of that the benefit counselor should know about these three plans?
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yep, I just have a couple takeaways that I want to confirm with, our underwriting team here, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys this today. We don't have much time, today.
I did look up the life plan, and that voluntary life is not capped by salary. It's whatever they want.
Oh, up to the max of the 500. Okay, that's good to know. Not capped by salary. Alrighty, well, thank you, Ray and Lindsay. We appreciate you coming on at this time to be able to train our benefit counselors on the plans that they're going to be enrolling and or presenting to Morton. Oh, we did have one question on the name of the company. Is it Morton Grinding or Morton Manufacturing?
Morton Grinding, doing business as Morton Manufacturing.
Okay.
So they answered one.
They answered to both. Okay, got it. Okay, well, and I will give our final password here. It's Go Team. So don't forget to send the free passwords to myself or Patrick so that we know you listen to this training. And thank you for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.